Hey guys, this is your host, Iowa Steeler today. Obviously going to talk about last night's travesty of a football game. Not in a good mood. Still pretty pissed off. Honestly, leading into this game, I kept telling myself there's a lot of positives. We made it to the AFC Championship game. There's a lot of positives going into this game. Just making it that far is a good thing. Nobody really gave this team a snowball's chance in hell earlier this season when we were on a 4-game losing streak. And then we came back, won 9 games in a row, made it to the AFC Championship game, and, that's all fine and dandy. I guess, I thought I wasn't going to be as upset as I am. It's, the way they played was embarrassing. The way they lost the game by 19 points. We flat out got our asses handed to us, plain and simple. There was poor officiating. Patrick Chung got away with highway robbery as far as holds and, pass interference penalties that weren't called. I think Stevie Wonder could have seen those holds, and it wasn't like they weren't. I'm trying to nitpick, the ticky-tack calls. These were blatantly, apparent penalties that were not called on the Patriots. The phantom personal foul on Ryan Shazier for, the illegal hit on whatever Patriots receiver it was. It was just poorly officiated game all around, in my opinion. But that's not an excuse for how badly we got our asses kicked. 19 points we lost by. And it should have been more. The Patriots really were pretty merciful, I think. They could have, they tried to rub our noses in it a little more. Thankfully, the defense had enough pride to at least not let them, when they got down into the red zone towards the end of the game, to not let them get an easy touchdown. But, what a frustrating game to watch. To go out like that, I was expecting a hard-fought game. We played the Patriots before. The defense played better against them, I thought. We had Landry Jones at quarterback. I don't know. I don't know. I'm so pissed off right now from this loss. It's just, I don't want to be, but I am. I'm very upset. It feels like a gut punch. Getting punched in the stomach multiple times, and you just can't. It sucks, guys. I'm not happy. I guess I'll talk about, what I thought they did right and what I thought they did wrong. Offensively speaking, watching the game, the Steelers could have done a lot better. It didn't help that Le'Veon Bell got hurt right off the bat, which seems to be our luck. Here we're thinking we got Le'Veon Bell for the whole season for once, and of course, 2 plays into the game, he gets hurt, because that's football sometimes, I guess. Le'Veon Bell getting hurt definitely affected the offense. It took away our second-best receiving threat. D'Angelo Williams, to his credit, came in and I thought played well until we started to get behind. Then that negated Williams because we had to throw the ball just to try and keep pace with the Patriots. But the offense just wasn't the same. I thought Ben played a good game. A lot of people are kind of tearing up Ben, saying he didn't play a good game, but I thought he played a pretty decent game. He didn't throw an interception until it was already too little and too late, and he was trying to force the ball. They were trying to force the issue. They were already down by who knows how many points at that point. The Patriots looked unstoppable offensively. I don't blame him at all for that interception. It wasn't like, when it was crunch time and the game was still close, it wasn't out of reach, Ben was making throws. He had receivers dropping balls. Eli Rogers dropped some balls. I think Antonio Brown dropped 1 or 2 that I saw. Balls are hitting these guys right in the hands. They're dropping them. Kobe Hamilton dropped one in the end zone. You can't do that. You can't do that. This was the game. They knew. They knew ahead of time going in. You can't make mistakes against the New England Patriots. If you do that, they're going to capitalize on them. That's what the Patriots do. That's what they fucking do. They're going to do, you can't make mistakes, and they just went in there, and it was just a mistake-riddled football game. It looked totally undisciplined. But the offense, I think, was kind of the bright spot of our team, and that's not saying much because there wasn't a lot of bright spots in this game. Defensively speaking, absolutely fucking pathetic. I was screaming at my television last night. It was ridiculous how bad the defense was. Chris Hogan is not Julio Jones. He's not A.J. Green. He's not Antonio Brown. But we made him look like that. We damn sure tried our best to make some freaking white dude off the street look like Julio Jones. It was ridiculous how open this guy was. How broken the coverages in the secondary were. I mean, this guy's just standing in the end zone, not once, but twice, wide open with like nobody within 10 yards of him. That pisses me off. How do you let that happen? He's a wide receiver. And you know he's their best receiver on the field outside of Edelman. So why the hell doesn't he have somebody covering him? I mean, it made no sense how open this guy was. Why are we playing zone exclusively against the Patriots? Can Artie Burns and Ross Cockrell not play man coverage? To me, that's pretty damning against them if they're not good enough to play man coverage. Because we shouldn't be drafting corners that can only play zone. You have to be able to adjust the scheme defensively to go against the offense that you're playing against. Plain and simple. We knew going in, the Patriots tear up zone defenses. They regularly do this. The history of them against our team, Tom Brady has 19 fucking touchdowns and 0 interceptions against our defense. That's ridiculous. That's freaking outlandish. That should be something that these guys looked at on the locker room board, bulletin board, and should have been a source of something to piss them off. Why are we allowing this? You know, Keith Butler and Mike Tomlin had to know that the zone does not work against the Patriots. They played against them multiple times. They played against them this season. And they still went out there, and they were still in zone all game long, and they're sending these zone blitzes, and then the Patriots have receivers just running down the field wide fucking open. You know, it would look like Tom Brady was just out there having a great old time, standing in the pocket, nobody touching him, freaking throwing deep balls to Chris Hogan and Julian Edelman. It was tough to watch, guys. I mean, it was tough to stomach. I watched from the beginning to the end, and it was like getting waterboarded. That's how bad it was. I mean, I have been pissed at some games that these guys have played, and I've yelled at my TV. You know, I'm fiery. I'm very competitive. I take football seriously. I love it. I love football. And I love the Steelers. But it pisses me off when they go out and embarrass the franchise and the fans like that. I mean, you cannot play that bad. I mean, we have a lot of positives to look at going into next season. But this was terrible. Flat out terrible. We went in there and we stunk it up. And the Patriots trounced us. That was a good old out back behind the woodshed ass whooping that we just took from Belichick and Brady once again, because we cannot get past these guys for some fucking reason. I'm tired of it, guys. I'm tired of it. They need to step up. Keith Butler, you cannot sit in zone the entire game. Brady has been picking you apart. He was picking our zone defense apart in the first half. How do you not make adjustments during the 20-minute fucking halftime to go out and play some man against these guys and some bump and run against their receivers? That offense is predicated on timing. We did nothing to disrupt their timing. We let Brady sit back in the pocket long enough that he could have literally mixed himself a lemonade, made himself a sandwich. You know, that's how comfortable he was back there. I don't even think he had grass stains on his fucking jersey. He's playing the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, and he doesn't have a single fucking stain on his jersey. Inexcusable. It's unacceptable. It's not the standard. Apparently the standard is getting our asses kicked by the Patriots every time we play against them. So, obviously, I'm pretty upset about last night's loss, and I'm kind of ranting a little bit. Well, not a little bit, a lot. But I'm upset. And I'm using this to vent a little bit to you guys. And I'm sure a lot of you guys are just as pissed off as I am, and some people are probably still pretty optimistic, and I do have some optimism going into next season, so we'll discuss that. You know, even though we got our asses kicked last night pretty badly, there are a lot of positives going into next season. We're going to have the Killer Bees back. I think they're going to definitely be putting the franchise tag on Le'Veon Bell, so he's going to be around another season, hopefully not get hurt immediately, you know, because with him it's impossible to tell when he's going to get injured. And that's obviously been the biggest question in his career, is injuries. You know, as far as Ben, we still got Ben. I think he's still got another 2 or 3 years left in the tank. He's not. I think when we get a true number 2 wide receiver back out on the field that can take some pressure off of Brown, take some pressure off of Eli Rogers, and take some pressure off even the tight ends, I think Ben's going to look a lot better. He really didn't have a number 2 receiver all season, most of the season anyways. Sammy Coates was the number 2 receiver. He looked fantastic earlier this season in the first 3 or 4 games until he broke his fingers. When he broke his fingers, that was pretty much the end of Sammy Coates this year. He couldn't catch the ball with broken fingers. I mean, I can't blame the guy. I mean, it's you want to say he needs to tough it out, but it's pretty damn hard to catch a football, especially when you're running full sprint down the field and you got 2 broken fingers on one of your hands. It's got to be immensely painful trying to play with that. I do question how they managed his injury because they had him out there playing special teams and stuff. You should have just put him on the bench and let him heal up. Why did you guys rush him out or keep him out there blocking people and stuff with broken fingers? I feel like he never really had a proper chance to heal. I don't know if this is an injury that they basically said, well, you need to get surgery, and if you have the surgery, it's going to end your season. I have no idea. I think he's going to have surgery on the hand I think that's what I've read before, but at least now we've got the off season. Sammy Coates can go get his hand fixed up and healed and come back stronger next season. And we're also going to have Martavis Bryant back, the other member of the Killer Bees. We need him back. And I hope to God this kid has pulled his head out of his damn ass, because we can't afford to not have a true number 2 wide receiver. I mean, the offense was so much better last season when we had Martavis Bryant out on the field, because he wasn't doing the stupid drugs and stuff. He hadn't gotten in trouble. We were so much more dynamic. Ben was spreading the ball around. Ben looked like he was in it, at the best point in his career. At least we'll have Bryant back. I think that's gonna open things up a lot offensively, just having those receivers. Defensively, we have a great young core of players in place. We found out that Sean Davis can play. We found out about Artie Burns, that he can play. We found out that Javon Hargrave is a pretty damn good player. But we've got some holes to fill. We don't have depth at all. We need Cam Hayward back. We can't keep relying on the same 2 or 3 guys on the defensive line. There's got to be some guys that can rotate in and make some plays. The best defenses have guys, key role players, that can step in and give those guys a breather and still be effective. We don't have that. When Hargrave or Hayward or Tuitt get hurt or they get pulled out because they need a breather, the defense gets noticeably worse. We need depth, particularly on that defensive line. We need corners who can play bump and run, who can play man coverage against opposing offenses. I don't know if Artie Burns can, because they never really gave him the opportunity that I saw last night to do that. I don't know if Ross Cockrell can, because I never really saw him get an opportunity to do so last night. But it kind of looks like they can't if the coaches don't go play or don't make adjustments and continue to play zone against the Patriots offense. So I don't know. Maybe we need to draft a corner that can come in and do that kind of stuff, or bring in a free agent. Ross Cockrell and William Gay were kind of the weak links in the secondary last night. They were, I like William Gay, I like Ross Cockrell, but maybe we need to upgrade those positions if we can. I think Artie Burns has a bright future, but we need to upgrade around him. And we need pass rushers. We need guys that can get after the quarterback. Not having Cam Hayward, which is huge, because he can get after the quarterback, he can stop the run, he's just an all-around great player. It sucked losing him earlier this season, and we felt the loss last night. If we would have had Cam Hayward, that would have made life a little more difficult for the Patriots offense, because we weren't getting any pressure on Tom Brady whatsoever. A couple times I saw them get to him, but outside of that, he stood around doing whatever the hell he wanted. So, we need to get some pass rushers. And we need guys that have, not the Jarvis Joneses of the world, that have one fucking pass rush move and it's a bull rush. We need guys that have an arsenal of pass rush moves that specialize in rushing the quarterback, that can rotate in and get after quarterbacks and get in their damn faces and put pressure on them and hit them. James Harrison, after the game, I guess he said he's not done. I'd imagine last night probably left a pretty damn sour taste in his mouth. He's a tough son of a bitch, and he's been around for a long time. He's playing really well for his age, and he's a leader on that defense. He sets the example. We need to keep him around for another year, in my opinion, and try to draft some guys that can come in and learn from him immediately. We got some holes that need to be filled, both offensively and defensively. I wouldn't mind seeing them draft a young running back to come in and help, take some of that pressure off Le'Veon Bell. so we're not running him 30 times a game and having him. I mean, we were kind of forced to use Bell more than I think they wanted to because of not having a true number 2 wide receiver out there. Kobe Hamilton and Darius Hayward-Bay were not getting the job done, period. Kobe Hamilton should be called David Copperfield because he just disappears. He can just disappear whenever he wants. And then when he does get the ball thrown his way, he fucking drops it. Darius Hayward-Bay is another guy, like, he's an okay as like a number 4, number 5 wide receiver, I guess, but when you give him some playing time, where is he? Where was he last night? He didn't do anything. I mean, we need guys that can step up and make plays. I'm hoping that DeMarcus Ayers turns out to be one of those guys, but I think they should draft another receiver. This season proved that you cannot possibly have enough weapons at wide receiver. Because as soon as Wheaton went down and as soon as, Bryant was out for the season, that really hurt our offense. I mean, we were still a good offense with Ben, Bell, and Brown on the field, but nowhere near as dynamic as we were when we had Ben, Bell, Brown, and Bryant. All in all, last night sucked. There's some optimism. I mean, stay optimistic, guys. Keep your chins up. It sucks. It was a gut punch. We got kicked while we were down. It just sucks. That game sucked, period. But we've got some positives to take into next season. And I think the Steelers are going to be, this draft is going to be really important to them. They know they need to get some players that can come in and play right away. I think we're supposed to have a record amount of salary cap room next year to work with, so we should be able to get Brown. I think we're definitely going to get Brown re-signed. We need to keep him around. I would like to see Brown get away from some of the diva behaviors and the distractions with Facebook and that kind of crap, but that's a whole nother topic. We definitely have some things to look forward to, though. I mean, it's going to be a long off season, after that kind of loss, but these guys know what they need to do. Guys like James Harrison, guys like Ben Roethlisberger, they're the leaders of the offense and the defense. They're going to step up. They're going to get these young guys going. They're going to, I think, we lost that AFC Championship against the Patriots back when Ben was a rookie. And then, the season thereafter was a Super Bowl. These guys don't take kindly to losing like that. When they do lose like that, they generally come back strong. We saw that this season when they lost to the Eagles, and they came back and smacked the Chiefs in the mouth. So I'm hoping that this season left a really bad taste in their mouth, and they come out next season and want to kick some ass. The Steelers will be back in 2017. Mark my words. This sucks right now, but we will be back, and we will get number 7. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to the podcast today. Keep your chins up, guys. Last night sucked. We'll be back. If you guys like the video or you like the podcast, when you're watching it on YouTube, click like or subscribe down there below. Leave me some comments or hop on the forums. There's a podcast thread on the forum. If you go in there under Steelers Talk or whatever, there's a podcast thread up at the top in the stickies. So you can click on that. I post every single one of my podcasts that I do every week or whatever. I try to do them weekly if I can, as time allows me to. Every new podcast I do is in there, so if you want to find them, that's where they're at. You can also leave me comments, suggestions, requests, things like that in there. If you have some questions you want me to address in the podcast, you can bring those up in there. I'll talk about it. Or I'll try to. I don't always get around to everything. I'm still pretty new to this, and I feel like I'm getting a lot more experience under my belt with the podcasting. So if you got any questions, throw them at me. Any requests, anything like that. Or if you got some suggestions on how to improve the podcast, throw those out there. I'm open to criticism. I can handle it. I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast today. Have a great day, guys.